Yo, what's up everyone, welcome back. Jamie here today doing another video. Today we're talking about the original 1978 Halloween. Now my plan is each week I'm going to do a review on each of the Halloween franchise until we get all the way to October when Halloween Kills is released. So expect a review each week. We're starting off, like I said, with Halloween 1978 and then next week Halloween 2. I was debating if I should start off with a more, let's say controversial film, but I figured why not we just start at the originals, work our way up. So, first one we're starting off with, the original 1978 Halloween. If you've never seen this film, I would really recommend you actually go and watch it before watching this. I mean, it's a classic at this point. I mean, if you're a horror fan, or even a casual horror fan, you must have at least seen a little bit of Halloween. It's iconic at this point, like I said. So yeah, I just watched it the other night, so it's going to be just my thoughts, what I've written down. It won't be so much a review, because, like I said, it's a classic. What else can you say about Halloween? It's a classic. So these are just notes that I wrote down, my overall thoughts and stuff like that. And I will rate it at the end. Let me know your thoughts and opinions inside the comments as well. Obviously, the very first thing you see is the opening credits with the slow, zoom into the pumpkin. That's one of the best opening credits of all time. I love how Halloween 2018 had it coming back to life and stuff, but that's a really good way to open your film right there. It's a really creative opening credits as well, if you think about it. Most opening credits, you barely even remember them inside films, and this is a low-budget horror film at the time. It made a lot of money, but it was a low budget when it was first made. Which brings us on to the very first shot, the opening POV with the mask, young Michael stalking Judith, his sister. Obviously, the person underneath the mask is Deborah Hill because they couldn't get the kid to actually do that, but that, again, it's all one take pretty much as well, and we see him outside stalking, slowly walking in, picks up the mask. But that's another thing I gotta say, Judith's there with a boyfriend, he finishes quick, man. Michael's outside, and then he watches him from the window, they're on the couch, and they go upstairs. By the time Michael gets inside the house, picks up the knife, walks to the stairs, the guy's already coming back down fully clothed. It's that's what, 30 seconds at max? I mean, no judging or anything, but that's some quick timing right there. Obviously, Loomis, Donald Pleasance is amazing since the very first scene he shows up inside the car, just explaining Michael. I mean, you could just tell from the beginning, his character, comes across straight away. Donald Pleasance, man, such an amazing actor, and Sam Loomis. When you think about Halloween, most people might say, oh, Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, but it's Donald Pleasance for me, man. It's Sam Loomis. What an amazing character. His original motivation as well, Michael going after Laurie, she drops off the key because, her dad's, real estate. And then what? What if she came a day early? Would Michael still be going after her? Obviously, at this point, John Carpenter didn't actually, write in that the brother and his sister in this film. So is that the motivation because she dropped off the key? That's the whole reason why Michael starts stalking her and her friends. It's just weird to think about. Obviously, like I said, number two, they are brother and sister, but in this film, nope. Outside the hospital, we got the Loomis and Wynn scene. Now, Wynn obviously shows up in part 6 as the leader of the cult. We're going to get to that, that review when we get to it. But this scene is, I mean, he was inside the original film. That's what is good about Halloween 6. But he also, mentions, oh, someone around there must have been giving him driving lessons. Well, there's a few theories, Michael could have been watching people and just over time picked it up. Or Wynn, maybe, could have actually been teaching Michael how to drive because it is a necessary skill for Michael. We've seen how slow he walks. He can't be walking places like that, especially 100 miles away to Haddonfield. The classroom scene with Laura, watching the window, and we see Michael stood there. The teacher in the background's talking about fate, and now you can't escape fate. So I mean, they could play with this more in Halloween Kills or Ends, saying that it was Laura's fate, or to actually end up against Michael, even though they're not brother and sister. I just found it a cool little scene that they could eventually go back to in some way. Another Loomis great line on the phone when he's telling him, he finds the body of the worker, Michael stole his outfit. He's if you don't call people, it's your funeral. Just the way he delivers the line is so good, man. As a negative of the film, I cannot stand the character of Linda. Every single sentence she says has to be totally. Can she actually physically say a sentence without the word totally in there? Because it seems like every line of dialogue she's got, she says it at least once. And it gets annoying easily. I understand they're supposed to be teenage characters, and teenagers kind of annoying and stuff, but come on, man. There's a lot more words you can use than just totally. So annoying. Inside the car as well, Laurie, she starts smoking the joint, And the sheriff had to have smelled it when they showed up. Like, I mean, come on, he's not that stupid. They just show up right there, the window's down. I'm sure he definitely smelled some of the weed, but, you know, maybe he was just being a cool dad, he didn't want to say anything. But also about that scene, we got the alarm going off, and he mentions, like, oh, someone stole a mask and some rope and stuff like that. The timeline doesn't make sense. I mean, when I was watching it as a kid, I always thought that was Michael breaking in, but we've seen Michael at this point, like, 20 minutes with his mask, and he's even behind him inside the car stalking him. So how's the alarm still going off? It's been hours. It must have been someone else. Like, I mean, I guess it's, you know, Halloween. Maybe it's just some kids breaking in or something like that. But it was just, you know, I always assumed when I was a kid that it was Michael, but the timeline don't make sense now that I think about it. So it must have been kids or something like that. One thing I always hated about Michael, the fact that he eats dogs. Like, Loomis and the sheriff go inside the house and we see a dog. And it's like, come on, Michael, man. Of all the things you can eat, you're going to eat dogs. Like... He even obviously kills the dog later on as well, but I guess that was a threat, so that's needed. But the fact that you're eating dogs, man. Funny scenes when he's stalking Annie outside and the flower pot just falls and he immediately backs away. He's like, oh shit, she's gonna see me. I didn't expect that flower pot to fall. It's not supposed to be funny, but just to me, it was just funny how he just backs away the quick and she looks. But, you know, he's gone because he's the shape. Speaking of Annie as well, I love the kill, how she gets killed with the keys. Like, she goes inside the house because the door's locked. She gets the keys and comes back out and the door's open to the car. She didn't really realise until it's too late. She gets inside the car, Michael's just in there waiting. I mean, it's a nice little suspense moment if you think about it. It's a nice little clever moment. I do like that. More Loomis quotes, of course, like, hey Lorne, get your ass away from there, when the kids are about to go into Michael's house. And he even says to the sheriff, like, what death has come to your little town. Like, such amazing, like, not even just the dialogue, but just the way, like, Donald Pleasance just delivers the lines, man. Iconic. You can't say anything else about it. You really can't. It is a dialogue that really, like, weirded me out. The first scene we see Bob in, he's, like, with his girlfriend. First, I rip your clothes off. To Linda. And then Lindsay's, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute, what? Lindsay's like, what, an 8-year-old? What are you talking about? He actually says this. I rewound it. He's like, to Linda, he's like, first I tear your clothes off, then you tear mine, and then we tear Lindsay's. And it's like, what? That really took me back, that, man. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And speaking of Bobby's kill as well, how does the back door open by itself? Like, he's investigating downstairs, and the door opens first, like, very gently. It comes open now. And Michael appears from the other side. There's no way Michael opened that door. Like, this is what I mean. There is a lot, like, little elements of supernatural just sprinkled in there. Like, how does that door open? There's no way the wind did that. There's no way the wind did that, and Michael didn't do it either. Obviously, there's more supernatural elements we're going to talk about coming up. But even in this first film, it is sprinkled. Like, no normal man can do the kind of stuff Michael does and survive the stuff he does as well. I always loved how, like, Michael just presents the bodies, like, when Laurie walks in the final act, and, like, one by one she just discovers the bodies of her friends. It's, like, so good, man. But at the same time, it's like, Michael, like, come on, man. Like, how long do he even, like, ties the door? So, like, Laurie walks in, he must have been back guarding, you know, he ties the back door with the thing, and then he goes up, like... Michael is definitely, like, you know, he enjoys doing that. You can tell he enjoys stalking, and he enjoys, like, presenting the bodies for his last victims to find. Because this isn't the last time that he does it. After that, Laurie goes outside and Michael's chasing her. She runs to her next door, she's banging on, the light comes on. The woman looks through the window, she's like, help, help. She turns the light off and goes back to bed. It's like, what? In all the horror films you see, man, no one's ever home when someone needs help, but someone's actually home and they refuse to help her. They're just like, no, this is Halloween. She's messing about with us, man. Turn the light off. I'm going back to bed. Another thing about that, used to give me nightmares, that chase when Laurie's, like, you know, going through the street trying to get to the house. I used to actually have nightmares about that as a kid, like going down my street where I live and Michael just slowly coming after me. I mean, like, we're going back 20 plus years there, man, but definitely used to have nightmares from this film. And finally, like I said before, man, there is supernatural elements because he gets stabbed twice, once inside the neck and then again with a knife. And at the end, Loomis shoots him 6 times, like, all in the chest area as well. I mean, like, there's no way Michael had a bulletproof vest, so that's out the window. And he falls off the balcony and he's gone. Like, I don't see a normal man surviving that, really. So, I mean, even in the first one, there is supernatural elements, but overall, man, classic film. Like, you gotta give it a 10 out of 10. There's nothing else you can give this. If it wasn't Halloween, wouldn't have Friday the 13th, probably wouldn't have Nightmare. Definitely won't be any Scream. The horror franchise, the horror, everything about horror would be completely different. So yeah, John Carpenter's Halloween 1978, 10 out of 10. Let me know your score down below inside the comments. Like I said, each week we're going to be doing a Halloween review. Next week is going to be Halloween 2, and we're just going to keep going on from there. Make sure to click like on this video, guys. It really helps out, and subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, let me know your score down below with this film, and let me know if you're enjoying these horror videos as well. I'm going to keep continue doing them. But yeah, until next time, peace out, stay safe. Thanks for watching. In a bit.